Hi, I'm Jenny Hepler, and welcome to this episode of Connect, the live show that connects your challenges with our solutions. Today, we're going to be talking about business relationship management and why organizations are focused on becoming relationship-centered. As we're streaming today to both LinkedIn and YouTube Live, please feel free during the show to submit any questions that you have in the chat function on either LinkedIn or YouTube. You can find out more about what we do at APMG on our website at apmg-international.com. To find out more specifically about BRM, just scan the QR code on the screen during the show. Our guests today are Svetlana Sedenko, President IT Chapter, and Teresa Adrians, Senior IT Manager for BorgWarner. Welcome both ladies to today's show. Svetlana, thanks for joining. Can you give the audience a brief introduction of yourself?
Thank you, Jenny. I'm a Master of Business Relationship Management. I'm a IT strategic leader and managing professional, and I hold master degree of science in business administration and PhD candidate in computer science. I have founded the IT chapter in the year 2003, and since year 2014, I have partnered with BRM Institute for the BRM practice. I'm a lead BRM trainer and coach. I have built an in-house team of BRM trainers and coaches in IT chapter. And a bit more about IT chapter itself. We are an IT consulting and training organization with services in Canada, United States, and France. We offer services in English and French languages across the globe in various time zones. And we provide a full spectrum of BRM knowledge path, both certification courses and workshops, in the client locations, in person, online, and via self-study formats.
Great, thank you, Svetlana. Teresa, thank you for joining as well. Can you give our audience some background on yourself and a little bit more about BorgWarner?
Thank you, Jennifer. My name is Teresa Adrians. I've been in the IT field for over 25 years, having progressed from a developer to a project manager. And throughout my career, I have obtained several certifications, including Business Relationship Manager Professional, Project Management Professional, Certified Scrum Master, and Masters of Business Administration. I've worked in many industries, including manufacturing, healthcare, banking, and retail. I currently work for BorgWarner as a Senior IT Manager. I've worked for the company for 11 years, and I'm very involved in the BRM role. I actively engage with the IT leadership team to ensure that all of our BRMs obtain the relative competencies. Now, a little bit about BorgWarner. The company is an American automotive supplier based in Auburn Hills, Michigan. We have over 49,000 employees globally. We operate in 93 locations and 22 countries. And last year, our sales were $14.8 billion. We operate in every region of the world, and we supply parts to every major OEM.
That's great, thank you. This is going to be a very interesting show, and I'm really looking forward to our discussion today. So let's jump right in with our very first question. This one's for you, Teresa. So why did BorgWarner introduce the BRM role?
Prior to 2008, BorgWarner's IT department was decentralized. So a decision was made in 2009 to centralize the IT organization. This led to two new roles: the Service Delivery Manager, which focuses on infrastructure-related items, and the Business Relationship Manager, which focuses on building a relationship between IT and their business partner. During the economic downturn, the IT organization within BorgWarner was very lean, and we had limited resources. As a result, we need to ensure that our IT investments achieved maximum value. and this started us on the path to BRM training. The role was created for three reasons. First, to help enable the strategic direction of IT with the business. Second, to get involved early in the business decision-making process. And finally, to help business and stakeholders make the right decisions. So at BorgWarner, our BRMs have an IT background, but they possess a string of business acumen that they've acquired through the years of contributing to all the business accomplishments. Our BRMs act as strategic partners. How, you ask? We facilitate quarterly steering committee meetings with the IT stakeholders and the business partners. And during these meetings, if there's any issues that need escalating, we ensure that they are resolved. This helps BorgWarner continue to grow in our BRM maturity.
That's great, thank you. So let's move on to our next question. This one is for Svetlana. Why now more than ever do organizations focus on becoming relationship-centered?
Indeed, more than ever, organizations strive to optimize and achieve value for all stakeholders. They do recognize the importance of value optimization culture based on trust, on collaboration, and on shared ownership. Also, organizations these days massively recognize that relationships is a driving force for building this culture, as we see in the example of BorgWarner and many other organizations. Well, as a first step, many of these organizations create a business relationship management team aiming to solidify relationships between stakeholders and team members. This is the first important step towards becoming a relationship-centered organization, but surely it's not enough. It's only the first step. Here, I would like to mention that all organizations have some degree of business relationship management capability, some more mature, some less. Organizations with BRM team certainly show a willingness to develop their capability further. However, to become relationship-centered, the organizations need to develop more than just appointing the BRM team. They need to develop a deliberate approach, build a journey, plan for it, measure it, and take steps to grow to high levels of business relationship management maturity. And the key word here is deliberate. Now, if your organization has a BRM team, is it already relationship-centered? Not yet. Quite often, only people with a relationship manager in their title do recognize the importance of relationship management in business. It shouldn't be this way. Nurturing relationships is everyone's responsibilities, and everyone should take accountability for relationships. If only a few people in the organization understand the value of importance of relationships, you will constantly run into the roadblocks. Employees who don't understand the value of business relationships might not take care of them. For example, they might not share information, or they might not be very open in interactions. They will be polite, but they won't try to understand what is important to the other person. In certain instances, they might even display the passive-aggressive behavior. Employees who don't care about business relationships may not value the interactions with others. That includes exchanging in meetings, emails, face-to-face conversations. What is the result? The result is that organization fails to optimize the business value for their customers. Each organization shall aim to become a relationship-centered one, and every person within the organization needs the skills to build and improve their relationships with one another as a source of driving value in the organization. And BorgWarner here is a great example of an organization which commits to become relationship-centered. BorgWarner has consistently built the BRM competencies of its IT staff since year 2015. We have learned from our students that IT department in BorgWarner is quite lean, And I personally attribute its effectiveness to the ability to manage relationships for business and stakeholders.
That's perfect. Thank you. I think that's an excellent explanation, and especially, to have the example that we have here with Teresa from BorgWarner showing, in practice what you just talked about. And the climate right now in businesses is changing so much. So this is just, really relevant topic and so important right now. So thank you. So let's move on to our next question. This one is for you, Teresa. So just taking that discussion a little bit further, what is the current state of BRM in BorgWarner?
Our BRMs within BorgWarner wear two hats. One is an IT manager, and the other is the business relationship manager. As the IT manager, they focus on the strategic and operations role, whereas as the BRM, they focus on a relationship to ensure business requirements translate to business value. This helps the IT build credibility with their partners, and it provides the ability to transfer from technical to strategic. Our goal is to form a relationship for our business partners that's strategic, and we align our IT strategy with the business so that we are always adding value. And as BorgWarner continues to grow, we need to adapt this role, specifically in two areas, communication and technology. With communication, we bridge the gap between our world headquarters and our different business units to ensure that the global IT strategy is implemented from a top-down approach. We also assure that all changes are approved and they're in alignment with the IT strategy. And finally, we ensure that all important business demands are communicated. From a technology perspective, we want to make sure that we provide this solution for all of the IT enablers. And we do that by having value-based discussions with our business partners. We start with the business outcome to be achieved, rather than focusing on a solution-based discussion where it forces the business to pick a specific technical solution. We always focus on defining accurate business requirements, as this is the most important area. And it's also important to know that this is where our business BRM competencies are applied. It helps us guide our business partners so we become less of an order taker, and we help them ensure business value. It's also important to know that BRMs must have a high business IQ to understand the business needs, as we are their partners. This helps us ensure the value of all of the projects that are implemented globally for BorgWarner.
That's excellent. Those are excellent examples of how it's working within BorgWarner. So thank you for that, Teresa. Let's move on to our next question. This one is for you, Svetlana. So what was IT Chapter's contribution to the development of the BRM function in BorgWarner?
Well, for us, the collaboration with BorgWarner BRM team since year 2020 has become a true partnership. In BorgWarner, we have taught 86 and recently more BRMs in the BRMP course. It's Business Relationship Management Professional course. It's a certification course to enable the BorgWarner consistent approach to business relationship management practice. And these individuals, they grew the team of BRMs and BRMP certified employees of BorgWarner, the ones who had been trained before us. Our international team of BRM trainers created a training program across the globe in various time zones and convenient to BorgWarner timelines to accommodate everyone. Now, our trainers and in-house BRM experts were also available to BorgWarner colleagues for additional coaching, exam preparation sessions, whenever it was required. What else? So participants had access to our state-of-art learning management system, where they have found not only the learning materials, but also simulations for our certification exams. And we're proud of results. As a result, BorgWarner colleagues are achieving the final 100% exam passing rate. And we're working with every one individually to help them to achieve this result. And of course, exams and certification and training is very important, but it's only one aspect of building their BRM competencies. To me, the most important result of it that BorgWarner colleagues from all over the world, they joined classes and have spent 3 days together exchanging their thoughts, ideas, sharing information, sharing their state of their respective business units. It was a great value for organization, and certainly it contributed to the maturity of the business relationship management practice in BorgWarner.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear about. It's a really true partnership that you have with, not just the training, but really, assisting with BorgWarner in their BRM maturity. So, and I do think that was an interesting comment you made about, it's something that's happening more now with people joining virtual or online learning, where colleagues from around the world can join the training, and they're not only getting the information and the advancement from the training, but they're also getting to work with each other in a different environment. So I think that's really important. Thank you. So let's move on to our next question. This is also with taking the training a little bit further. So for Teresa, how did BRM training contribute to the BRM maturity in BorgWarner?
We chose to certify our BRMs as business relationship management professionals. And this is important for 2 reasons. It's to ensure consistent knowledge of all BRM practices within the organization. And then we can grow the credibility of our BRMs in the eyes of the organization, both locally and globally. Our goal was to have a common language for everyone to speak to the business. It started in 2015 with consistent training annually, which we have several sessions across multiple time zones and in different regions. We also ensure that new employees attend these training sessions so that they understand the BRMP methodology. As Svetlana indicated, we partnered with IT Chapter in 2020, and since then I'm proud to report that we now have over 125 certified BRMs within the organization. This allows us to use our common languages, templates, and approaches to make our projects succeed for our business units. BorgWarner has become a true BRM community across the entire organization. Prior to each of the training sessions, each business unit was using a different approach to adapt to local requirements and level of maturity. Now, because of the partnership with IT Chapter, all apply the same methodology in a consistent way to provide additional value to each of our business partners.
That's excellent. I think one of the key takeaways there, excuse me, is to have the global language. That's really important as well within the organization, especially when it's such a global company as well. So let's go on to our next question. This is for you, Svetlana. What is the role of cultural evolution in building the BRM mindset in BorgWarner?
Well, culture and cultural evolution is always a hot topic. And to approach it, we, from the BRM perspective, we certainly need to have a BRM mindset in an organization. If organization aims to become relationship-centered and ultimately to optimize value for all the stakeholders and the customers. I would start with a definition of what is the BRM mindset from the BRM Institute. So BRM mindset is the mental attitude or belief system that inspires and influences how business relationship managers evolve culture, build partnerships, drive value, and satisfy the purpose. Well, as you see, just by definition, the BRM mindset is not possible to build. And consequently, it's not possible to become a relationship-centered organization without evolving culture. And I'm sure that participants of our discussion today would agree that culture shift and evolution are one of the hardest things to achieve and certainly cannot be done overnight. To change the culture, we need to change how we behave in organization. Like, for example, how do we take decisions? How we share information? How we collaborate? How we plan jointly? And so on and so forth. We need to have a clear vision of the future desired behavior. And for that, we need to understand and analyze our current behavior and identify gaps. What exactly are the obstacles? What are we doing wrong? What are the issues with our current way of doing things? And who, if not BRM, can help us to do that? BRM's mission is to shape the organizational understanding of the future target desired behavior. And common language, as Teresa mentioned, is a great place to start to evolve culture. In BorgWarner, we did introduce the common language with all our trainings. And a very large portion of employees in IT department had a chance to learn it and bring back to their respective regions and business units. That does build the BRM mindset. It's a great start and a great contribution. Another element of cultural evolution is evolving it, and same as building with the same as with the BRM capability. Culture evolution requires a deliberate approach. Again, I use the word deliberate. And for that, organizations need a respective knowledge. You need a solid foundation where you will build it up. And BorgWarner colleagues had a chance to discuss multiple aspects of evolving culture in our classes. We had very vivid discussions, open and honest exchange, and of course, all organizations, including BorgWarner as a global organization, the cultural evolution and culture shift should be put in the perspective of the geographies. And we had also these discussions as well.
Yeah, that's very important, especially with global organizations. So I have another question for you, Svetlana. So what kinds of tools and templates are known to help BRMs achieve their mission?
There are so many of them. Since their emerging of their Business Relationship Management Institute and developing the BRM body of knowledge over years, we have used a lot of tools and templates. But I will start with the organizational approach to tools and templates. Each organization use a combination of their own tools and templates, which they build from their experience, and many times they are very great and very useful. And by the way, when we say tools, we mean not necessarily the automation or the software. The tools might also be not automated. Well, even though the automation is always a good idea, but for example, business case is a tool. And I've seen many organizations automated it via interactive approach, but it can be just electronic document and Microsoft Word, and it's still a tool. Well, that's to put it in perspective. When we say tools, it can be not only the automation. There is a number of BRM tools which can be efficiently used by organizations. Just to name a few, relationship diagnostic, strategy on the page, purposeful narrative, storytelling. These are the very recent tools, and I love them. They just came out in year 2021. There are also respective templates, which would save a lot of times and errors for you if used as a base. For example, the BRMs whom I met use widely their ideas capturing template from BRM Institute, as well as relationship improvement plan template. Well, I mentioned BRM Institute several times. I will mention where you can find them. In BRM Institute campus, you will find a large collection of BRM templates and tools. If you're a member of BRM Institute, of course. And just to mention my favorite, and from my observation, the most used. My favorite top one is BRM competency model, which can be used very efficiently, first, to understand which competencies each BRM has to possess, building the individual competency development plan for each BRM, and as a team. Our clients have shared with us how much an eye-opening this tool was for them, and they use this model widely. Another one, my favorite, is relationship diagnostic. It's a set of tools and methods which help BRMs to understand to which degree the provider organization meets the business partner and stakeholders' expectations, and respectively, what is the quality of relationships. And the quality of relationships is defined by the degree to which we do meet these expectations, meaning that we do need to understand these expectations. And relationship diagnostics is a really great tool to achieve that. And finally, I believe most of BRMs know it, and participants know it as a BRM maturity model. It's a great tool and also one of my favorite. Using this model, you can define where you are now in the business relationship maturity from their ad hoc order taker level until the trusted advisor and strategic partner, where you want to be and how to get where you want to be via the building the roadmap. Why tools and templates are so important? Basically, you will avoid reinventing the wheel. You will get right from the first shot. You will get right from the first shot. You will save time, and most importantly, you will not miss anything. The tools and templates which are used in BRM Institute and developed by BRM Institute is a distilled knowledge from those organizations who have succeeded in certain activities, domains, and areas. In our workshop, value optimization using practical tools and techniques, we teach many of those. And another great source to get exposed to those tools and templates are courses, BRMP 2021 and CBRM. And of course, BRM Campus is the place to go.
Thank you, Svetlana. That was a lot of great information for our audience. And I do just want to mention to our audience that's watching, if you have any live questions, please feel free to submit them on the chat if you're watching on LinkedIn or on YouTube that we can ask Svetlana and Teresa here today. So let's go on to our next question. This is for you, Teresa. There we go. So what was the value for BorgWarner of training BRMs and to other stakeholders as well?
The BRM training provided by IT chapter was invaluable. Our BorgWarner BRMs have learned the importance of many aspects of this role, including speaking a common language with the business partners, building trust with them, and clarifying and gaining alignment on their shared goals. And finally, utilizing the BRM methodology in a consistent manner globally. This led us on the road to change from an order taker to a trusted advisor so we can build a strategic partnership. And as we've mentioned, this helps us continue with developing the common language globally for all of BorgWarner's BRMs. Perfect.
Thank you. So now I want to go into, we do have some live questions for our viewers, from our viewers. So let's take our first live question. So congratulations in building such a strong BRM community of practice in BorgWarner. If you had to do it again, what advice would you give yourself? Teresa?
I think the main thing that we've learned in this long journey of establishing a BRM within the organization is it's imperative that you pick a good partner for training. We found that in IT chapter. We've partnered with them with the last 2 years, and they've conducted many training sessions globally across different parts of the region, accounting for and being flexible enough to allow our BRMs to also wear that additional hat of IT manager and attend the training. So for us, they were very flexible, and the training spanned 2 additional weeks. So it would allow them to do their IT manager role while also participating in the training to become certified. So it's important that you learn that the partner is critical.
Great advice. Thank you. And thank you to the viewer for the question as well. So let's take our next live question. What are your thoughts moving from a tactical to strategic BRM? Svetlana?
Right. Yes. Well, there are a lot of thoughts I have about moving from tactical to strategic, and it's a journey. And again, using the word deliberate, it should be the deliberate journey with thorough planning and respectively execution. And it comes to both sides. It comes to the business side, and it comes to the side of the provider organization. So from the strategic perspective, first of all, if we are in a tactical position, we need, first of all, to understand what it means to be strategic, what it means to become strategic, what are the attributes and competencies of strategic BRM. The competency model, by the way, which I previously mentioned, is a very great start to understand where you are, what are your competency level current, and what does it mean to be strategic. Actually, this competency model will show you how to move and what you need to acquire as an individual to move from tactical to strategic. However, moving from tactical to strategic is not only the matter of individual BRM. Of course, we have to grow as individuals to the strategic level, but it doesn't mean that you will become strategic instantaneously. It's also the matter of organizational settings and the organization growing its business relationship maturity as well. In our workshops and in BRM Institute workshops, we have, for example, the BRM playbook, which explains very well how to enable organization to move to the strategic, and it's a series of activities which I would recommend to acquire this publication and read about it. Well, or attend the workshops, of course, and classes, join the BRM campus, and this journey is can be long, but it's totally possible.
Thank you. We've got some live questions coming in here today. This is great. I think it's been a great show so far with so much information. So thank you to both of you, because we're getting a lot of audience interaction here. So let's take our next live question. How can you describe the relationship between BRM and CX? What are the interlinks and where do they differ?
So I guess I will answer the question. As I understand, CX is a C-level, as executives and organization. Is that correct? My understanding, like a CEO, CTO, yeah. Their BRMs are actually working with the executives. BRMs are the links. They are their how would I say the interface between business and the provider organization, and they influence, they navigate, orchestrate, they connect. They ensure that the value is being optimized, and they actually are responsible for the value optimization. And the C-level of organization, the executives, they're accountable. That's the difference. So they're accountable for the value of organization. BRMs are responsible. They are helping. What is possible, unless the CX means customer experience, but maybe we can clarify. I didn't quite understand what CX means. If can be clarified.
Okay. We can work on clarifying that.
We can. Yes.
Yeah. In the meantime, we'll go on to our next question. We do have another live question. So any tips on how we could support our organization in accepting the BRM activity and role? Some IT departments might have difficulties in accepting BRM, the role. The reason for that, some IT departments were in direct contact with business before BRM, and they thought they might feel they're not in that communication anymore. Teresa, did you have Teresa?
I did. So Jennifer, that is how BorgWarner operated prior to 2015 when we established the BRM role. Now the mentality within the organization is the BRM is a partner and a liaison between IT and the business partner to help ensure value. And the key is the communication. Like I mentioned earlier, we help bridge the gap between our world headquarters teams and our different business units. So this ensures that we are successful in implementing the projects for each of the respective plants or tech centers. And its focus should be on the value-based discussions. If a business partner has a project that needs to be implemented, it's important to understand and document the requirements and to ensure alignment with a solution, and not have IT force a strategic or a business technical solution, and let it always be value-based.
Perfect, thank you. We're going to move on. Oh, Svetlana, what would you like to add?
Yeah. I just wanted to comment on the CX. I just got a hint from our support team that the question was about customer experience. And customer experience and consumer journey, and of course the role of BRM is very important at that, and we can see it from the perspective of external and internal customer experience. Lately we are talking a lot about internal customers experience as well inside of organization, but historically this notion, this concept came from serving our external customers, and mostly consumers. So, the role of BRM is very important. So, I know several organizations, and I know TELUS is one of those because I talk and worked closely with them, who are serving their external customers and external consumers, and do pay a lot of play a great role in understanding their customer experience, and having a high business IQ and understanding their business, and bringing this notion inside of organization. So that's, to me, the link is very strong.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that as well. We're going to take our next question. So I think this is, important. We were talking when you answered this question before. You've mentioned various BRM templates. So where can I get access to them?
Well, I guess I can answer the question. I mentioned that BRM campus is a great place to start. You will have access to all the templates over there, all the tools, all the techniques, and BRM Institute is very great in sharing this information to its members. And of course, if you want to learn profoundly how to use these tools and templates, I mentioned our workshop, value optimization using practical tools and techniques, and also BRMP 2021 and CBRM courses are also great sources for that. With these courses, you will get actually access and set of the tools and techniques. With BRMP 2021, we offer the 3 months free membership in BRM Campus, which opens the door to all the tools and techniques, the ones which you have learned in the course.
Teresa.
I'd like to add also to that, Svetlana. As you know, the BRM Institute also conducts their annual BRM Connect sessions, which will be held next month in San Antonio. This is a great way for BRMs within organizations to connect with other companies and perhaps learn about the templates or the philosophy and methodology that's used within their organizations as well. It's meant to be a communication to help learn from others rather than just looking at perhaps a textbook solution and put into place some real live scenarios and to share with others.
Perfect.
Indeed.
Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah. Okay, we have another question. Who is the audience for the BRM training? Is it suitable for business analysts?
I will answer this question. Yes, I will answer this question, and I'm hoping Teresa will also have some input to this question. And of course, BRMs is an evident audience for this training, and business analysts, they do benefit a lot from joining this course as well, because BRM, whether you have the hat and title of relationship manager in an organization or you don't, but business analysts do need to be relationship managers, right? They need to be skilled in relationships. And actually, in the latest edition of BRMP training, which is BRMP 2021, we recommend anyone in organization, anyone who is interested in relationship, to join the course. The audience is very wide. I would qualify this course as a leadership course. And the course where you learn to lead, to influence, and build relationship regardless of your title.
I agree, Svetlana. It doesn't matter what your job title is. It's all about focusing on the relationships to bridge the gap between IT and their business partners. In the end, we want to all be successful for our organizations, and helping along this line of the BRM training only benefits the organization. This can help us eliminate issues more quickly, hopefully, and also implement our projects on time and within budget so that we don't delay things because we define the requirements correctly the first time.
Exactly. Thank you. So we have time for one last question. Is your BRM training available in a self-paced format? Svetlana.
Yes, yes, it is. It is. It's we have BRM training, BRMP certification training in self-paced format via videos, and we have BRM fundamentals course and BRM introduction course. We have 3 different courses in self-paced format. So like if you want to get certified and RAM, so it's BRMP is the way to go. It's longer and more profound, but if you don't have this intention, you can attend BRM fundamentals or BRM introduction course, which also differ in length and approach. But these 2, the last ones, they are recommended to everyone who is interested in business relationships.
Thank you. We did have another live question come in, so we're going to take time for that. We are planning to collect feedback from our customers on BRM activity. For example, sending out surveys for them. How often shall we do that? On a yearly basis? On a quarterly basis? Teresa?
Jennifer, I can answer that question. Within BorgWarner, we conduct quarterly steering committee meetings with each of our locations. So this is immediate feedback because you don't just talk to the leadership team at a specific location every quarter. It's at least weekly. And in multiple cases, it's even several times a day. So the feedback is instant and doesn't need to be as a result of a survey. However, within BorgWarner, we also conduct annual surveys, which are then shared with our IT resources as to the results and how to improve the services for the upcoming year.
Well,
Svetlana.
yeah, I would add to it. Quarterly is a good idea. I would say at least every 6 months, because yearly it's too long. So that I would recommend every 3 months or 6 months. Yeah.
Great, thank you. That's an excellent question and great answers. Thank you. So with that, we're going to wrap up with the questions. So I want to thank the viewers for watching, for the excellent questions have been sent in today. There's a lot of interest in this topic. And so I just want to go to my panel and ask you both for your closing comments. So Svetlana, do you have any closing comments today?
Well, I would like to thank APMG, Jenny, you and other APMG team members for inviting us to this event. And specifically, I would like to thank Teresa for her continual dedication to BRM practice and actually for her very valuable participation in this event and sharing with us. As for the topic of our discussion, I would like to hear from participants if your organizations are entering the state of becoming relationship-centered. And I'm looking forward to hearing the other great examples. My contact in LinkedIn, and please invite me if we're not yet connected. And I would like to connect with participants. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing you in our IT chapter workshops and courses. So that's my closing comments. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Svetlana. Teresa?
Yeah, so like Svetlana, I also would appreciate any participants who would like to share their business relationship management path. They can do so, connect with me via LinkedIn. I also would like to thank APMG International for inviting me along with IT chapter. And I also need to thank my BorgWarner colleagues because without them, we wouldn't have the BRM role that started back in 2015. I also would recommend that organizations that are pursuing the BRM path, that they reach out to IT chapter for the training because they will help you succeed in your mission. And as you know, BorgWarner has been investing in people because we see the value and the benefits. I look forward to partnering again with APMG on a next further webcast. Thank you guys and have a great day.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you both. And thank you to our audience for watching today. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to follow APMG on LinkedIn so that you can stay up to date with all of our latest news and Connect episodes. In our upcoming shows, we're going to be talking about cybersecurity. So make sure to stay tuned and we'll be posting all of the details for the time and date for our next show. See you next time.